Let's understand sources of international law in this video as we explore where rules between states come from step by step in clear language. Have you ever wondered why countries follow rules without a world parliament? Think of shared practices like trade or diplomacy that guide state behavior every day. Some authors argued differently. Lawrence and Oppenheim said the consent of nations is the single source of international law in their view. Brierley disagreed, placing emphasis on customs and reason as central sources. So scholars did not share one uniform view in their opinion historically. Article 38 of the International Court of Justice is treated as the most authoritative statement listing the recognized sources of international law for courts. From Article 38, we identify main sources: international conventions or treaties, international custom, general principles, judicial decisions, juristic writings, and reason or equity. First, international conventions or treaties are the primary source. They create written rules when states agree, and those rules bind consenting parties. International law lacks a central legislative body, so treaties let states make binding law by mutual consent, filling the legislative gap between nations. States may use treaties to create international organizations, and those organizations' resolutions or rules can often bind member states in agreed areas. Treaties divide into law-making treaties and treaty contracts, both creating obligations but differing in scope and the number of states involved typically. Law-making treaties are entered into by many states and aim to establish general rules applicable widely, like the United Nations Charter today. Other law-making treaties outline general principles, such as the Geneva Conventions or the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961, widely accepted today. Treaty contracts are agreements binding only the parties, and critics say labeling them separately can be misleading, since both types create legal duties. Treaties also shape customary law when many states follow treaty practices, helping customs to form through repeated conduct and acceptance over time. Courts have ruled that treaty provisions prevail over conflicting customary rules, as held by the Permanent Court in the SS Wimbledon case decision. Customs are old practices followed by states, accepted as law because states act out of a belief they are legally required to do so. Custom grows from spontaneous practice and reflects a community sense of law, giving customs density, stability, and common legal rules among nations. General principles of law draw on moral ideas and national legal systems, helping international courts apply familiar legal concepts across states today. When treaties and customs fail to address a problem, tribunals may apply general principles or equity, as seen in the Maziwa and Nolila arbitral proceedings. Judicial decisions are subsidiary sources. Courts like the ICJ and tribunals state legal reasoning that can guide states, although they do not create binding precedent. Article 59 of the ICJ statute makes decisions binding only between parties involved in the case and only for that dispute, denying automatic precedent. Over time, repeated judicial practice and consistent decisions can gradually gain persuasive weight and often contribute to the formation of customary rules. Writings of jurists and commentators are subsidiary sources that courts may consult to clarify law, especially when treaties or customs are unclear. Historic jurists such as Ayala, Gentilis, Grotius, Vattel, Kent, and Zouch wrote influential works that help shape customs and legal thinking over time. Equity is fairness and reason in applying law. It is not usually a formal source, but judges use it where rules are unclear to reach fair outcomes. Because equity draws on culture and state interests, its application may vary between states and reflects broader natural law ideas in international decisions. Decisions or determinations by organs of international organizations are increasingly recognized as sources that help shape international legal norms and practice today. Such institutional decisions can influence state behavior and contribute to customary rules when states accept and follow them over time as practice. So, what do we learn? International law comes from treaties, customs, shared legal principles, court decisions, juristic writings, institutional acts, and equity for fairness. Let us quickly remember treaties, customs, general principles, judicial and scholarly sources, institutional decisions, and equity. Keep studying gently and explore more resources on EduRev.